Hi everyone, how all you doing? I hope everybody is great. We are still here. I'm still at home in Moscow, still under lockdown. But again, it's time to make another live with you, this Sunday live. This live, today live, will be about my inspiration and useful resources I use. I mean, the inspiration the inspiration in terms of who and what inspire me, and obviously this is more related to drone films and cinematography or videography and stuff like that. So this will be more about this, not the photography part of which I also enjoy. That could be another inspirational life. This life is particularly only for drone videos, drone films, and everything which in this content will inspire me. I actually divided this inspiration to like 4 parts. So I will be talking about a filmmaker, director, and DOPs who's really inspired me, and my inspiration for that. Then I will be talking about composers, because I think a soundtrack is really important. The music and sound is really important, and in that case, an actual composer is a great source for inspiration, or soundtrack is a great source for inspiration. So that will be a second topic, and the third topic is about the creatives, people who I also enjoy. I will be talking about them. And at the end of that, this is more like down to earth, like resources, YouTube channels, web links, or I don't know, websites and stuff like that, which I go to for inspiration, or actual resources, and which the blogs which I enjoy reading on daily basis and stuff like that. So it's like from persons to things which inspired me. And again, will be like a four section. And the first section obviously will be, again, since we're talking about drone stuff and drone films and drone videos, there will be more about filmmakers, directors, and DOPs. By the way, they are not in any particular order. So it's just, and of course, I cannot talk about all of them. There's so many of the filmmakers, directors, and many creatives from that industry, especially in Hollywood, which I enjoy. But I could not talk about them for like an hour or so, only for them. So I will be mentioning only the one which is inspired, get my creative juice flowing, and their films and their styles mostly, and I will be mentioning just a few later on. So let's start from filmmakers, directors, or DOPs. The one and only Ridley Scott. By the way, I think all the guys who will be mentioned throughout this list, I think you're all familiar with that, but I will be just spending a few seconds talking about what inspire me from them most. Obviously, Ridley Scott, I'm really big fan for everything sci-fi related, sci-fi related, and obviously I like his movies from Alien, The Martian, then Prometheus, and among others, Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, those iconic movies which everybody's enjoy, I think, and which I really like that. For example, Prometheus or Aliens or The Martian, they have a beautiful cinematography in the drone department. So classic and classical. Those aerial shots are absolutely amazing, and this VFX in them is really good. But obviously, I mean, this is movie related, but of course, his style of producing the movie, his style of directing and doing everything, which is really great, and I really enjoy his style of directing, his style of cinematography so much. Christopher Nolan. I think this for me is number 2 in my top list of all cinematographers, all filmmakers. I mean, I really enjoy his, not only his cinematography, but his choice of lenses, his choice of scripting. He is, and I believe his brother, Tentant. Yeah, I think it will be an amazing movie. I was just reading the comment here. Yeah, I think I could not wait. I'm so excited about this movie, and I could not wait. I hope nothing is changing the plans for the release of this movie. I hope this year. But I mean, this is amazing. Everybody know the Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk. Those an amazing movie in terms of everything. I mean, from editing, from cinematography, from again lens and techniques of shooting. From this guy is so inspirational for me. I mean, really. I think number 2. He is number 2 in my list. Anyway, I cannot say anything else, but he's so inspirational for me. Sam Mendes. This guy is again the last drop for me was the 1917, the recent movie 1917. He's amazing, amazing director. He's also directing a Skyfall Inspector, and I really enjoy his mood, his way of creating the picture, creating the or directing the pictures, and his style of shooting. I mean, I really love his way. I mean, I could say everything about all of the list and all of the guys and filmmakers, and directors, and there will be here, but again, I will be repeating myself. But he is one of the greatest and one of the best directors. Another one, Guy Ritchie. Why is I enjoy particularly his movie. Obviously, he's amazing director from UK. Just to remind you, The Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Snitch, Sherlock Holmes, and The Recent Gentleman. I really enjoy his movies. But also why I'm enjoying the movie, because I think when he was first releasing those movies, it was like a breath of fresh air in terms of creativity, in terms of style of shooting. And he was so inspiring for so many creatives around the world. It's just producing his unique style and saying, hey guys, we can do that, and we can create something else, a bit diverse from different classical approach to filmmaking. I think in some way of shooting and some way of visioning the style of picture. And so therefore I really enjoy his actual film and actual directing. He's so inspiring in that way that he is creating something unique and something new, and it's always a good inspiration to create something new and something unique even in the film industry where many things was already tried before. So Guy Ritchie is number 1 for unique and creative approaches, as well as Baz Luhrmann. I think there's honestly, Baz Luhrmann for me was, I started enjoying Baz Luhrmann not from his earliest films, which I didn't see because of my age I didn't I wasn't born at that time, but it was like lightning strike for me when I saw Romeo and Juliet and Moulin Rouge, because the Romeo and Juliet style of film was editing and shooting was so it was like mind-blowing for me. I saw this movie so many times, this accumulation of soundtracks with the movie, with the camera movements, with the editing, with the sound of, I mean, this is just unbelievable. It's like, for me it was like lightning strike. And I remember integrating this like tattoos and crisscross and hearts into my design. Early days was like I don't know, a million years ago. I was so enjoying that, and I was, oh my god, this is amazing. And after that, I was really enjoying those two movies, as well as Australia. And I'm really, you know, a little bit disappointed that there is no more movie like that, and he's not producing the movie like that. I don't know why. Maybe somebody knows, just write in the comments. Who knows what's going on with him. And I didn't see so many, you know, production of movies coming from him. But again, I was really enjoying and his creative approach is just, I mean, those two movies are iconic and so unique. Then another one is Denis Villeneuve, which is famous for Blade Runner 2049, The Arrival, and MCCREARY. And I think with this guy, I personally correlate to his work mostly in my approach, because I think he's, you know, like a moody and like the activity and malleability of his shooting style is so into my, you know, passion and to my soul, and it's so related to my drone films, obviously. So I really enjoy his work and his filmography and filmmaking, and cinematography. So I really, you know, one of my inspirational for, you know, moody shots, and again, he's got amazing, you know, in Arrival, he's got amazing, you know, aerial shots and stuff like that. So really enjoy that. Roger Deakins, the one and only, I think, is a true legend and the one and the biggest cinematographer, you know, presently living. I think that's, you know, a true hero of mine. You know, he's a DOP as well, and probably not everybody is familiar with his work in terms of not related his face and his names into a particular movie, because he's not a director, more like a DOP and cinematographer. But just listen to this. That's just a short passage. A short list from I think 90 or 80 films or 70 films he was, you know, involved with. Just listen to this. The Shawshank Redemption, Fargo, A Beautiful Mind, The Village, True Grit, Prisoners, Skyfall, Sicario, Blade Runner 2049, and 1917. This is just a small amount, it's just a small list of, I think everybody knows those movies and everybody heard about that. And this guy, Roger Deakins, a UK cinematographer, is working on that movies and many more. He is one of the greatest, and his approach to cinematography is unique. And by the way, he's actually have recently released a podcast. Several podcasts, several episodes of podcast, and it's great to hear what he's talking about his career, what he's done, and how he approached the movies. And really nice to hear that. You can listen to this to him, and I think it will be so inspired, so really inspired. Okay, David F. Sandberg. You probably will ask, why is this guy in the list? So I mean, he didn't even mention Tarantino yet, and he's already mentioning David F. Sandberg. And I would be honest with you, the films he produced is not as inspiring as his story, his unique story. So just to familiarize you with his work, he is creating Annabelle Creation and Shazam. And he's working on another Shazam, sequel as well. But his story is absolutely unique, because look, this guy, a Swedish filmmaker who never done a big budget films ever, produced a movie, short movie. It's called short films, horror short films for the Horror Film Festival, and uploaded that on Vimeo. And through just a night, or like a night or 2 nights or 3 nights, I don't know, like a month or something, this short period of time, he's gone viral, and he was actually invited to shoot an actual film. An actual Annabelle Creation was his first film in Hollywood, but he never stepped in actual shooting into the shooting stage of any major Hollywood film. He only shoot with his, you know, camcorder or whenever, telephone or whenever. And he was actually and he was open about this, and he was, and I read his, sorry, I saw his YouTube channel. He's got a YouTube channel about everything, you know, like small filmmakers, short filmmaker going to Hollywood, and it's really, really inspiring. His story is so inspiring, you know, from making a 3 minutes home movie with his wife. She is an actor, and going straight away to the Hollywood and to the film, you know, to be a director and such a, you know, well-known in horror movies, you know, genre film, which is Annabelle creation. I don't really particularly enjoy horror movies, so I didn't see that, but his story is absolutely unique and really, really inspiring. And I would really recommend to check his YouTube channel to see how he's transferred from a, you know, short, you know, filmmaker, you know, just a regular guy like us to Hollywood director. Check him out. The last one, but not the least one, is Peter Jackson. One of my favorite, my favorite director of all time, number one. And I am a big fan. It's not only because I'm a big fan of fantasy and I really love the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogies, but also because I really admire his meticulously details to produce everything in camera. I mean, everything is, you know, not CG. Obviously, he's got a lot of CG stuff and VFX and stuff like that. But he is meticulously producing everything behind the cameras, like real effects, not the, you know, VFX as well. And I saw a lot of his behind the scenes, and I actually think, guys, I would really recommend to see behind the scenes of all the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit as well. This is a DVD or Blu-ray with additional from 6 to 10 hours on each film, so it's about 60 hours of behind the scenes from everything. Just every single details of the movie is just unbelievable. If you want to learn, I mean, if you are if you're passionate and you want to learn about the, you know, not learn, but, you know, obviously you will not be an expert just to see behind the scenes, but you want to be immersed in the world of filmmaking and the world of big budget filmmaking, just take a look at this behind the scenes. It's just unbelievable. I think those behind the scenes, which is covering everything, should actually be taught in some, you know, school, you know, in the first year of a film school or something. They have to, you know, like make it mandatory to see this behind the scenes, because they're talking about everything, working with the scripts, working with the studios, working with, you know, actors, creating some, you know, building stuff, you know, creating stuff for all of this the movies, you know, dealing with the actors, shooting, you know, CG, compositing, you know, and all of the aspects of the you know, actual filmmaking in the big Hollywood's production. He was talking about. I was blown away by this. I think. Now, you know, I just want to be open with you. I'm a geek, and every single Saturday, every single Christmases, every single New Year, I'm re-watching all of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit, and then all of the behind the scenes, because it's so inspirational and so, you know, covering everything. And it's, you know, you just see so meticulous work of his and his team, of obviously, and his style of shooting and stuff. He is one of the greats. So the only disadvantages of me, you know, watching this, you know, behind the scenes, it's taking a long time first, and the second one, after that, you will be looking at everything what you do and say, oh my god, this is just unbelievably mediocre or unbelievably small compared to what they're creating. But with the same time, you will be so inspired to create better, to see how other creatives doing and what other people doing, and you say, oh my god, I have to do something. You will be so inspired. So oh, yeah, I have to create something. I have to do something because of the just because of watching behind the scenes. But again, truly, if you check the behind the scenes, you probably, it's one of the best behind the scenes I ever see. So inspirational and covering everything and so unique. But yeah, check this out. Of course, there is so many directors, so many filmmakers and DOP which I could not mention here, otherwise we'll be talking only about them. But just a few ones I want to mention as well. Ron Howard, Guillermo del Toro, Martin Scorsese, of course, Quentin Tarantino, James Cameron, Steve Spielberg, Luc Besson, and many others who is inspiring me through our careers, through the cinematography, for his their approach to movie making and everything. But again, I could not talk about all of them so much, otherwise it will be like 2 hours, 3 hours long. But anyway. Next is the music composers. I'm listening to a lot of soundtracks. Soundtracks is inspiring me, and I'm listening to on daily basis. Actually, about 70% of my listening time is the soundtracks compared to all others genre of music, so all others like pop or I don't know, rock or whatever. It's just I listen for so many soundtracks, and I think that's give me an idea as well for my short drone films, and it's just so inspiring for me. So I would going through the composers which inspire me so much, and I probably I can bet you will guess who is number one of mine. Again, this is not in a particular order, but number one is still this one is Hans Zimmer. I think it's a true legend. He's one of the unique creative person in terms of sound designs and music and composing and everything. Just for sake of saying, I want to say that he was working on such movies as Inception, Interstellar, Gladiator, The Dark Knight, Last Samurai, Blade Runner 2049, and many others. I can listen to Inception and Interstellar just on repeat because again, he's so inspiring. He is one of the best, and I actually suggest you to go and check his masterclass. It's more like not in terms he's teaching you how to do that, but it's more he's talking about his approach and more like an interview, and it's about an hour or 2 hours long, I think. But it's very creative. It's very interesting to immerse in his world, to actually see his passion and see what he is he's looking and how's he creating his approach and his music. The second one is Howard Shore, obviously the Lord of the Rings, Avatar, Gangs of New York, among the films he is actually producing. He's actually composing for, and the Lord of the Rings, I think I can put on repeat and listen to his creation. He's so inspiring in terms of creating the music, the moody and everything. I really enjoy and love his approach. Johansson, unfortunately this person is no longer with us. And but his styles of creating the music is so unique as well. I would compare his approach to, let's say, a Guy Ritchie in the cinematography, but his approach is unique. I also read his interview, and he's so creative in terms of how to create some musical notes and musical composition through some unique instruments, some unique approaches, and yeah, you can read his interview and listen what he's done. He's an amazing composer. Unfortunately, again, he's no longer with us, but his work is included in Prisoner, Sicario, and Arrival. He is absolutely fantastic. Check him out. Justin Horowitz, one of my favorites as well. He is a composer for Whip Splash and First Man. I really enjoy his work in First Man. I really enjoy his approach to that particular movie, and therefore I mean, he's really inspirational for me again. I listened for so many soundtracks, and therefore this list is concerning the guys who is inspiring me in sound department, soundtracks and everything. Another one this time is a woman, is absolutely amazing Icelandic composer. I have to read her name is Hildur Gvudnadóttir. That's actually a real name. This is like an Elvish spell or something, but her work is amazing. She is the first woman to win an Academy Award for the Best Original Score, which is unbelievable. And her works is featured in Chernobyl, Sicario, Arrival, Sicario Day of Soldata, and she's one of the true inspiration in terms of the music, in terms of compositing and sound and stuff like that. So check her out. She's really, really awesome. Daniel Pemberton, yeah, one of my favorite composers as well, especially his work for the King Arthur. He's just so he's so, it's on another level. I think you should listen to soundtrack, and so in line with the Guy Ritchie's directing, and so in line with his Guy Ritchie's work, and so inspiring. And I think for so many is creative, is very again very inspiring, very creative in that approach as well, in his approach to the music as well. There's a few others I want to mention as well: MARC, STREITENFELD, LUDWIG, GÖRANSSON, BEER McCary, Nathan BARR. Those guys I really enjoy as well, and you have to check those if you're into the soundtracks, which like me, I'm a huge fan of soundtracks. You have to check those works as well. But there is so many other soundtracks, so many other composers which I enjoy, mostly like maybe one soundtrack or less, and therefore I will not going through all of the list of all composers I enjoy, but those are the most which inspire me so much, and I listen on mostly on daily basis or very, very often. The third part of this, the people and places, the people and things which inspires me is the creatives, and the interesting story with the creatives is that when I did the list for you guys, and I went through the filmmakers, soundtrack designers, and composers and soundtrack designers as well, creatives, and other stuff, I suddenly realized that I actually didn't see, I didn't put any creatives from a drone, people who create in drone films. It's not because there is no drone films which I enjoy, drone short film which I enjoy, or drone videos which I enjoy. It's not like that, but there is no, I realize that there is no single creatives in the drone worlds which I would enjoy on a, throughout the careers, saying, for example, one film I enjoy, then there's a couple of, which is okayish, and then there's nothing else. And those films, those creatives I didn't mention, but actually if there is no creatives in the drone industry which I enjoy constantly, throughout the careers, and the films that say, oh my god, this film is amazing all the time. So I didn't put them. I don't want to disrespect anyone, but it's just happened like that. And I was really surprised, and I was really I was being, you know, again, being very surprised that I enjoy so many people, so many creatives which are creating time lapses in terms of, instead of, you know, drawn films and drawn videos. There's a couple of them, like 5 of them, which I want to mention as well. Which I want to mention is Morten Roostak, you know, very cool. I think it's Norwegian guy who's doing amazing jobs in time lapses. Michael Shannon Bloom, amazing again time lapses, and he's also have a tutorials on creating time lapses. You have to check his work out. Martin Hack, again, amazing time lapser, a person who produced time lapses. You have to check his work. Mike Oblinsky, once again, a time lapser, a person who creates time lapses, and the one and only Rob Whitworth. I think his style of hyperlapses is unique and, you know, recognizable straight away from first seconds of, you know, his movie. And the funny thing with the Rob is that I actually, you know, pretty familiar with how to create, you know, hyperlapse and how to create time lapses, but when I see the Rob works, it's just, oh my god, I don't even know how he done this. So his work is, you know, recognizable. He's working with so many you know, brands all over the world, you know, very famous brands. So check his work out, and you will recognize, even if you didn't know he done this particular, you know, time lapse or hyperlapse, you will recognize his work straight away, because again, his unique style is very recognizable and was inspired by many people was inspired by him. But again, sometimes I just don't know how he created that. Unfortunately, as I said, there is no drone people. You know, my colleague from a drone world who I enjoy constantly. Yes, again, there is some films I enjoy, some drone videos I enjoy, but unfortunately there is no consistency in the making, so I could not put anyone in this list. But I want to mention this guy, Alex Roman. You know, probably many of us knows his work. I think he best known for the amazing video which is called The Third and the Seventh. Which, you know, sometimes in your career, sometimes in your life, there is several movies, several things, I don't know, people who inspire you so much. This one is, you know, one of them, Alex Roman. When I first see, you know, a long time ago, when he first released this movie, when I saw he's a 3D composer, he's a 3D guy, 3D designer, 3D artist, and when he first produced this movie, I was so blown away by this movie. It was so realistic, so unbelievably, but it was a fully 3D. I could not believe that. I was checking and rechecking. I was just, you know, searching web and say it could not be just 3D. And what was inspiring me that this guy wasn't working at that time, wasn't working with a huge company and say, okay, I was producing this for huge Hollywood for $1 million budget film or something. It was like a promo or like a short film on his own, more like his own creation. And I was so blown away by his quality, this actually movie, and I was saying, okay, from now on I have to do 10 times more better, 1,000 times better, because this is how other creatives in other fields are doing their work. They just you know, bringing, you know, level to absolutely skyrocketing standard. So you know, check him out. I'm not sure, I didn't follow him, I'm not following him so much, but this movie was so inspiring for me, so I have to include this guy in this list of inspirational figures. And this film was, you know, turned my, you know, world around, and I want to be a better version of myself, just because I'm looking at this works and other works of other creatives in other fields, including, you know, filmmakers or cinematographer, directors, videographers. Another one is Oliver Astrolo. I love his work as well. He's combining some drone footages and ground footage is producing amazing, you know, films, amazing short films and videos. You have to check his work. Tim Sessler, again, amazing filmmaker from, I think it's from, I can't remember where he originated from, but his styles is unique and recognizable from other creatives on Vimeo, on YouTube. You know, check him out as well. Brandon Lee, love his work, really inspired by his creation and you know, his styles of shooting, styles of editing and everything. So again, check him out, and he's really cool. You know, I think he called himself cinematographer, so check him out. Denis Schmales, I think I might be mistaken in some names, so I'm really apologizing. I don't want to disrespect anyone, but check his work as well. One of the guys I follow on Vimeo, with many Vimeo staff pick, and his work is truly great. Now from you know, we're coming from theoretical people who is in, you know, inspirational to more like practical stuff, more things and channels and websites and you know, sites in particular, or resources which I enjoy and use and you know, my go-to places for, you know, for reading or blogs or stuff like that. So let's start with the Filmmaker IQ. This one I really enjoy on YouTube. I usually use YouTube mostly for tutorials and, you know, like information. I don't search YouTube for, you know, videos or inspirational videos, more like tutorial stuff. I don't know, maybe you're doing the same. But in the world of YouTube, where so many YouTubers who actually, you know, have so much to say but have no experience, unfortunately, and these guys have a real experience in the real, you know, industry, and with so many years, more than me, I think like 15 or something like that, and he's so passionate of what he's saying, and he is so great and explaining stuff. I really enjoy his movie. You can check his channel and check his work, you know, especially on 24 FPS, motion blur, and so many stuff, you know, filmmakers related. So check him out. He's a real cool, you know, cool guy, and he's explained stuff, you know, in a particular style, but very, you know, unique, and, you know, you can understand him very easily, I think. The Premier Beat blog, which I also enjoy, and I also enjoy through the resources which they are sharing, you know, paid and free, and it's a go-to, you know, blog, you know, on a daily basis to see what's going on and read so many interesting stuff, you know, filmmakers, videographers, even the drone stuff as well. Yeah, it's just a great resource for me to enjoy. The next one is Video Copilot. Is from my early days when I was working in the film industry, and I'm using Adobe After Effects so much. This is the guy for the After Effects. He is so famous in this circles, in the circles of VFX artists, circles of people who create in visual effects, in using After Effects. He is the legend and the guy who go to for the everything which is tutorials, plugins, and freebies and stuff like that in the world of After Effects. And you know, a really fun and unique guy, and you have to check him out and see what he's doing. And I mean, really useful in terms of learning from him and his experience. Wolf Crow is another person I enjoy, especially his nice film analysis, you know, camera movements, colors analysis and stuff like that. Not everything which I particularly enjoy, but I really, you know, generally I really, you know, enjoy his you know, blogs and vlogs, or whatever you call them, and his analysis for the film and for the filmmakers. And he's actually, I think he's an indie filmmaker, and he knows what he's talking about. He's got an experience as well, not just, you know, you know, like theoretical experience, but more like a practical experience. So he knows what he's talking about. In terms of DaVinci Resolve, I really enjoy Casey Faris. He is the guy to go for to go for you know, anything which is DaVinci Resolve related, tutorials, you know, and stuff like that. There's so many as well, but I would say if I would pick one, I would go for Casey Ferris anytime. In terms of, you know, like interviews and fun stuff and anything which is again industry related, I would go for Indy Mogul anytime. I really enjoy his interview with the biggest names and big filmmakers, biggest name, and he's just, you know, fun to see and really inspirational video. He's creating really inspirational videos. Another one, let's talk about the color grading. You know, if we're talking about the color grading and especially DaVinci Resolve, my go-to guy is Wakaz Kwazi. I hope I pronounce his name correctly. He is very, you know, fun and entertaining. He is also have an actual experience working with inside the industry. He's working in a Hollywood, and he knows his stuff, and he's actually doing, you know, a really great job of analyzing films in terms of colors, you know, redoing the colors in films and everything which is, you know, film related and DaVinci related. He's a really cool guy in that terms, and also he's got a masterclass on DaVinci. I didn't participate in his masterclass, but I think he's, you know, judging by his tutorials, I think it's you know, it's awesome, you know, everything about color grading masterclass. You know, I would probably recommend. I don't have again, I didn't participate, but again, throughout his tutorials, I think he is the one, you know, to look for concerning the color grading. Also concerning the color grading and everything, you know, not only related to tutorials or, you know, resources, but also for interviews with the colorist, you know, some inspirational story about the colorist. In particular, it's a low post, my go-to resource. They also have again a masterclasses, paid, you know, tutorials and free tutorials, and you can subscribe for like a yearly subscription, have a yearly subscription, have access to I think all of them, and I did have some of them. So they have a great insights from a colorist perspective, and if you are into that, you have to check them out. No Film School, a great blog, you know, a daily, you know, go, you know, and check what you know, post they posting and what they actually, you know, writing and stuff like that. Again, together with which one was it, Premiere Beat. This might go to blogs for anything which is filmmaking, videography, and you know, anything which is, you know, film related. Another one which is probably not everybody's familiar with, but again very inspirational for me, is The Art of Titles. This is a go-to place. It's a resource which is actually, you know, just, what's the word, saving all the cool titles from movies, and therefore, you know, you can see so many great titles, you know, opening titles, I mean opening and closing titles. And if you're into the titles, if you want to have an inspiration for your titles for your short drone films, you probably have to not probably, but you have to go and check those guys out. There's like a list. They not producing the titles themselves or not teaching how to do, but there's like a resource for like archive for all the titles, for all the cool titles from TV and films. And if you want to create some, you know, have an inspiration for titles, just go and check them out. It's a free website. Just to conclude what, you know, the resource part, I want to say there's so many things which is also inspiring me, including and things which I go to for inspiration daily, which is Vimeo, of course. The Behance is absolutely a fantastic creative platform for anything, as including the films and cinematography and photography as well. YouTube obviously for information, interviews or tutorials. Sky Pixels, it's just general if you want to see what's going on in the world of drones, you know, films and video especially, and photography is the one of the biggest platform for sharing and watching other people, your colleagues, your creatives platform, you know, to go to. And ZCool, again, it's less known, but it's like a Behance from China. And recently I discovered, like a year, maybe 2 years ago, I discovered this platform through a friend of mine, and I was posting on that platform. It's also very, you know, interesting to see Asian approach to that, because there is so many difference between us, you know, people from, you know, Americas or European to Asian. Just, yeah, it's cultural things, and you want to see the perspective of interesting cultural perspective from those guys and see their works. It's obviously, because it's a Chinese platform, it's obviously mostly a Chinese creatives or Asian creatives are posting there, but there's also a few, you know, European, few Americans as well, and from other world. But mostly, if you want to see something completely different, something unique, and in terms of, you know, cultural approach, you might be checking out the ZCool website as well. So this is actually everything concerning my inspiration from people, from filmmakers, DOPs, from composers, from other creatives, you know, in the time-lapse world, in, you know, time-lapsing filmmakers, videographers, cinematographers and stuff like that. And also my, you know, go-to resources, go-to channels, go-to websites. This is all. I just want to remind you that I also do have a short drone film masterclass, which is actually dedicated only for for the drone films, and we're talking about only for the, you know, drone stuff, the problems we have with the drones, from settings to post-production, from color correction. This is not general information about everything and every single camera in the world and what to do with them, but also everything which is concentrating, and, you know, particularly with you know, concerning the drone and the drone films, and everything which we will have, you know, problems with them, how to solve them, how to do the best drone film, you know, you can possibly do with the things you have, or how to shoot the best drone films and post-process it if you know, in the future drone films which you might, you know, shoot in the future. So check this out. There's a link in my YouTube profile. Just click on that, and there will be much more information, much more detailed information about my masterclass, and you can, you know, just sign up. There's like 2 or 3 days, depending on your ability to learn. There's from 2 to 3 days masterclass, you know, talking about everything, you know, drone stuff related. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for, let me just switch this here. Yeah, thank you so much for joining my my live Instagram related to my inspiration. Next week there will be another live which is concerning the drone movements, how to shoot the drone. Will be 7 or 8 drone movements which you can, you know, easily recreate and do with your drone films. But also I will be talking on 28th. I will be giving live presentation in Russian regarding the time blending photography with the Canon Russia, on a Canon Russia Instagram. So if you are into that and you know Russian, just join me on 28th of this month, and I will be giving you my approach to time blending photography in architectural, time blending, you know, shooting and photography in architectural photography, but it will be in Russian, and it will be on a Canon Russia YouTube channel. Oh, sorry, not YouTube channel, no, Instagram channel. It will be an hour live. Thank you so much, guys. I talk to you soon. See you. Bye.